Hello, we are Group 4, and this is the first assignment for the health monitoring application. My name is CJ Sandoval, and I will cover a quick demonstration for the application through the emulator. For the rubric scoring, we will demonstrate on an offloaded Android device. In the top left corner, you can see our README, and in the bottom right corner, you can see our emulation running. You'll notice that the orientation is in landscape mode, and this is because it has better utilization for the screen since the graph is run long ways. You will see three entries for patient ID, age, and patient name. The patient name and patient ID are both passed as strings, and the age is passed as an integer. And I will run a quick demonstration. So you can see the entries are now populated, and now I may select a gender. Now we observe the graph is running, and I can stop it at any time. And we can go back and forth.
Hi, I'm Rushikesh and I'm going to take you through the Java code for this particular application. We have written a Java code in the main activity.java, and also we have used a built-in graph view Java code. So we have implemented the on-click listener for the main activity, and it basically we have defined multiple variables. The first variable value is used to generate the graph values, which and there are 200 such points which we can see at one particular time. The horizontal mark is used to define the x-axis of the graph. Vertical mark is used to define the y-axis of the graph. And there's a one more variable which says whether the graph is running or not. So we have used a running variable. The record variable stores like how many points we have to display at one particular time. The handler is used to communicate with the graph at any given time. The onCreate function has so basically at the beginning we initiate a array value which has a size of record which we have set it to 200, and we have initialized the horizontal mark, that is x-axis, with these static values. We have kept it static for as of now. Even the vertical mark is static, and here we have set the background color for the graph, and we have passed all these values to the graph view which creates the graph, so which also includes the title which has been given to the graph, and also the horizontal mark and vertical mark. Here is the code which decide the orientation of the graph. As we already mentioned that we have published this app in a landscape mode, so this particular piece of code checks that if the orientation of a app is landscape or not. If it's not landscape, then we are converting it into a landscape mode code. And here it communicates with the UI to check whether the run button or stop button is clicked or not. And based on that, it calls the run and stop method.
Hi, my name is Yangkang Ou, and I will explain the recent part of source code. After we set up the content view, graph view, and the layout in the onCreate function, and then we can write a method to handle the click events. For the onClick method, we use the view to get the button's ID and use the switch statement to direct to the run or stop method. For the run method, in order to meet the requirements, that we need to check if the program is running. If it is running, and we need to use a handler to stop the pending message in the message queue. Then we can talk to the main thread. For the runnable class, we need to update the data and the graph view, then set a timer and a delay. Every time we click the run, it will start a new thread. For the random data part, for this method, if the program is already run before, it will keep the previous data as the same and only update the last data. If not, it will set all data as a random.
Hello, my name is Karan Kantharia and I'll be demoing the app on an Android phone. So we have used Target API 21 and this is the app's interface. So the first thing I do is I enter the patient ID. So I can enter is at 1234. I click next and enter the age as 23. When I click at done, I enter the patient name. Next, I verify the age again, and then I select the gender, that is male, and I click on run to display the graph. So as you can see, the graph is approaching and it has this axis labeled, so you can measure the instant when you want the measurement of the graph. So it is continuously running on the x-axis, and I can hit the run button multiple times, so it will append the data at that instant. Also, when I press the stop button, it will stop displaying the graph. So as you can see in the following steps, there was no unresponsiveness at any stage, so the app works perfectly fine. The axes are perfectly labeled and we have followed the submission guidelines, that is naming the app based on the group number and not violating any of the steps as mentioned in the grading rubric.